Hello and welcome to God of War episode 29, the episode that might never have happened. We're back at it again because I'm a glutton for punishment. And if I really want to do an Elden Ring playthrough at some point, I gotta practice channeling my son. Because I'm not even gonna pretend I wasn't molding previous episode. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll do it. It's fine. I can do it. Okay, that was super annoying opening. Come on. Get her. Come on. Yep. Doing good. Okay, where did my attack go? Yeah, come on. Why are you not doing what I'm telling you to do? Okay, like I said, I am gonna channel my Zen, but there is a lot of stuff that I'm telling the game to do that it's just not doing, inarguably.
It's sigil magic!
Yep, that's right. Get her.
Oh, I felt that one, brother.
Come on. Don't choke. No. Yeah, that's such a fun ability. Inner peace.
And for what you've done.
Okay. Where did my attack go? Come on. Let's see all that stun bar go down. Yep, there it is. I think my mold is completely justified, I'm not gonna lie. The thing about this fight is that it's pretty much everything I hate about an enemy. She's just got sort of gimmick abilities, like just being able to grab you. It's not really, I think, much of a way to learn it, other than just the hard way of timing it. It's not something you can get effective practice in on, which is annoying, I think. And then there are things like, what was I thinking of? Yeah, okay. Get her. Yeah, and I just can't stand there. Yep, that's fun. Yeah, so you say. Get her. Yeah, another thing I really hate when enemies do is just run away. It's super annoying. Or when they just spam it, the same attack over and 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 over again. That's not particularly fun either, in my opinion. Where's my attack? Where's my attack? Where's my attack?
Behind you, Kratos!
Okay.
Yelpa!
Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm at the wrong distance when she initiates that attack and I don't have a chance. Inner peace. I would... Okay.
Good. Tell me what you've done.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely have a lot of notes for this fight where I'd say it's not really geared for the way that the gameplay's engineered. For example, the fact that you have to pick up manually healing crystals is absolute nonsense. I don't care what you have to say about it. It just is.
It doesn't have to end this way!
Yeah, okay, and that's the other one where you just get grabbed and then you have to lose a certain amount of health. And then on top of that, your companion doesn't want to shoot arrows no matter how much you spam the button because of reasons. And then there's just the AoE on the ground which will cause, and yeah, and then there's this, if you're at the wrong distance you just die when she initiates, which is also super fun. Yeah, okay. You see, that's what happens. Then you have to have a look around. Like, where are the healing crystals? And then what's going to happen is she does something like that. Because you have to look away from her when you do it to actually see the healing crystals. Because you have to pick them up manually. And unless you look at them, you won't be able to click the key. Because that's also how the game works. There are a lot of things in combination that makes a fight like this unnecessarily frustrating. It makes the fight harder in a very, 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 very bad way. Also, you have something like this where she just initiates with something that's just gonna instantly cost you health, and then cost you bonus health too. Because yeah, that's the way it's engineered. Yeah, fun. Yep, spam attacks, that's something I also love when they do. The island buttons, it's fun. Yep. Absolutely gonna lose this too.
Sonic arrow!
Yeah, and that's the other one. The thing is, you have to lose health to this, and that bugs the ever-living crap out of me. I think that is just absolute nonsense. There's nothing you can do to prevent losing health.
Sigil magic.
Okay. When she... Okay. What are you... I'm not even sure what the keys were doing there. I've beat Melania and I've beat Promised Consort Rodon multiple times, so I'm not really too worried about this fight. But there are just certain things about it I do find frustrating no matter how you look at it.
Sigil magic.
That's another thing I hate is how the attacks will just arbitrarily change direction after they've been thrown. I do not like that.
We've both been blinded by Odin. It doesn't have to end this way.
No. Okay. And it seems like we get to a phase around here which she just seems to get even more aggressive than she's been so far. And this is usually where things go south for me, especially when she starts doing that attack, because that's how she takes the final quarter of my health every time. Yep. And then there's Bifrost, obviously, which is such a fun thing. Inner peace.
I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Why is my attack not starting? Again, getting the timing on that attack is just absolute nonsense.
You'll pay with your lives.
Your fight is with me.
Again, it's just an instant grab and just you can't do anything. It's just lost health if you miss it.
Sigil magic.
Okay. Again, and then there's something, an attack like this I'm at the wrong range when she initiates, and so I just don't have a chance to get out of it or interrupt her, which is complete nonsense too.
I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Okay, so they just missed completely. That's cool.
Left side.
Yep. Done.
We've both been blinded by Odin. It doesn't have to end this
Yeah,
way.
okay. Yep. Fun. You see? Yeah. Okay.
Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done. You're nothing.
Like I said, this fight really just combines everything I hate about fights and enemy types into one single confined thing, and I'm just not a fan. I don't know what else to say.
Asgard's blood is on
And you see, because I initiated a runic attack there's literally no way I could avoid that. You're just locked in for the damage at that point. And yes, that annoys the crap out of me. Yeah, again. And you just, there goes half my health because I set the wrong range when she initiated the attack. Where does my dodge go here? It's just gone, apparently.
And this is for mine.
Okay. Because it's half an inch too short. Got it. Yeah, and that's another. It's just magnetic lock-on. Even trying to go for the health is pointless. You're just gonna take more damage by and large by trying to get it than you are actually picking up.
what you've done.
Wow, that was quicker. Stun meter went down. Are you kidding me?
Sigil magic.
Okay. Yeah, and are you ready to see entire stun? Spam arrow, spam arrow, spam arrow, spam arrow! Yeah, half her stun meter's gone before she even fires a single arrow. Yeah, so much about this fight is just annoying, no matter how you look at it. And stun meter's gone. Yeah. Nope.
Good. Head for what you've done.
Sigil magic!
And that's an area where I just can't stand. Okay. Okay. Taking damage when I stand at a 90-degree angle, 5 meters away from her. Makes sense. Okay. Delayed reaction, apparently.
Getting someone?
Again, it takes half an hour for it to fire a single arrow of that attack. Why? Because of reasons. So one thing that would make it a lot better, given that you have to pick up health, is its simple fix of like halfway through the fight, you just get a single healing crystal that heals for the total of however many she would have otherwise dropped. I think would have been a decent solution. Yeah, and there goes her stun meter again. Because it takes because she, you know, during a fight, it makes sense that Freya would have to put her sword away so she can take it out again when she needs to fight again.
Just you and me.
All because of reasons.
Good. Head for what you've done.
So I think there are a lot of this fight that are very gimmicky, and that's what makes it hard. It's not hard in a good way, in my opinion. I like the idea of the fight, but it is, in my opinion, it's very poorly. Yeah, I'm not even gonna fight with those odds. A lot of things that are very... It's not really...
Let's settle. Good.
There are a small number of things that I think in themselves are annoying, but a lot of... I think what gets really annoying is things in combination that don't work well together. Why are you not activating? There we go. Like I mentioned, the thing about having to pick up health is... I think this fight would be significantly easier if you just did it when you were within range automatically. Why do you have to pick up? I mean, the thing is, if I was talking to a game designer of this game, I would simply ask them, what made you decide that you have to pick up health manually instead of just picking it up on proximity instead automatically? Okay. Because I'm not convinced it's a question that there really is a good answer to. Yeah.
Getting someone?
No. Because I was in mid-attack, I couldn't stop. Yeah, fun. And there goes the rest of her stun meter. Cool. Good times. How did that even miss? Okay. Yeah, at the wrong range, so now I died. Yep.
You call yourself
Alpha!
I'll see you pay for what you've done.
We've both been blinded by Odin! It doesn't have to end this way! Alpha!
No. Yeah. Keep spamming the same. Another thing is she just spams that attack. So it's like, keep evading until I get you. That is not fun in my book. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And there goes half my health because I set the wrong distance when she executed the attack. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. No. Okay. She just made a 360 just like that apparently. Okay. Where's my dodge? That's another thing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it feels like you really cannot interrupt an attack you're doing in favor of dodging, which is another thing that really annoys me. Yeah, see, her first opening move is even just running away, which is so fucking aggravating. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, and there goes her stun meter. So right there, for example, I was just absolutely spamming E, and it wasn't picking up the healing crystal. I think that perfectly exemplifies my point from earlier. Yeah, just attack spam. Yep, that's fun. Yep, that's that fun attack. Okay. No.
The Alpha!
I'll tear you apart!
Yeah, run. Run, dodge.
The Alpha!
Yep. There you see the cost of picking up health.
You
I chose to press C instead of spacebar, so I died.
and for what you've done!
Sigil magic!
I don't care what magic it is.
The Alpha! We've both been blinded by Odin!
Where's my spear?
It doesn't have to end this way!
Yeah, okay.
Forgetting someone?
Fun attack.
Steel Club!
You'll pay with your lives!
Your fight is with me! Steel Club!
Asgard's blood is on you!
Okay, I'm not entirely sure why my shield didn't just activate there. Okay.
Submit!
Where's... Yeah, I'm dead. I get it.
This was inevitable!
And her stun meter goes down instantly. Because of reasons.
That is not enough!
Yeah, fun. This game deserves better than this fight, I'm not gonna lie.
Good. I'll see.
Yeah, first... Let's see, first thing she does is just dodge away.
I'll see. And for what you've done! You abandoned
Okay, yeah, and again, I'm in a heavy ruining attack animation,
Not
so I'm just in for that damage no matter what I do. Yeah, and she runs away. Yeah,
Sigil
fun.
magic!
Use so much precious time just picking up that health, Jesus. And for what it's worth, it's just nothing. Yeah, okay.
Getting someone?
I'll tear you apart! Submit!
Yep, and she got me with that attack because I have to pick up health. I mean, I know, I think that somebody said that there's like halfway checkpoints or something.
You call yourself a god?
But at that point, why am I not just lowering the difficulty? Why am I not just using cheats? I mean, it gets to a point where, why are you even beating the boss? I mean, if you just want the boss to die, that's fine, but I think if halfway checkpoints and that sort of thing is necessary, then at a certain point you have to start asking, why isn't the boss just designed differently to begin with?
Sigil magic!
Yeah. There goes her empire. Stun bar. Nope.
Let's set good.
Yeah, first, again, first, her opener is dodging. Her opener is going away. I don't know why, but this just annoys the fuck out of me. Again, she's just running away instantly.
Careful, brother. You're covered in Bifrost.
Then, because I have to use the heavy ruining attack there, I'm just instantly getting bifrosted.
Sigil magic!
Okay. I mean, it's just the wrap at that point. Come on, run away. Yeah, there it is.
For what you've done! You abandoned us!
We've both been blinded by Odin!
Why are you not shooting?
Asgard's blood!
Sigil magic!
Your souls will wither!
Okay, and there goes half my remaining health. Just like that. Yeah, and there, yep. There goes all the health I just picked up. And there goes all of that, despite the fact I was outside the circle. And I'm done. Okay. If you're gonna do a game like this, you really need that kind of stuff to be clean. Otherwise, it's just fucking annoying. Yeah, and there goes half my health to Bifrost. Nope. Done.
Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Sigil magic!
How did that even miss? What a joke. What an actual joke. Okay. Yeah, and you can dodge. Yeah, okay. Done.
Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Don't you see it's over? There's no need for this!
Okay.
Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
It's sigil magic! Alpha!
Asgard's blood is on you!
I don't know how they managed to combine everything I hate about fights into one single character. It's impressive.
Suffer as I have.
I don't know how many attempts that is. I just know I am not going to waste any more time on it. You then?
Let's settle this. Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Yeah, I'm sure you see the difference already.
Sigil magic!
You abandoned me!
Why are you not changing to my spear?
Unworthy! No matter what you
Okay,
try,
does work.
the result
Just needed
will
to
be
check.
the same. Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
It's sigil magic!
Deserve to God! Unworthy!
Forgetting someone?
Yes, please keep running away. It really makes fights so much more fun.
What's a shield if you're not going to use it?
Submit! Asgard's blood is on you! This is far from over! Rise! Rise!
Soundstone!
What's your left?
No. And I'm actually in Bifrost too. That's just awesome.
Submit! Kneel! I failed! You judge me. You, whose cowardice has left entire realms in ruin.
Sister, I know the hate that burns you from within. I've felt those flames, known the comfort of their warmth. I wronged you. And I cannot change that. Never apologize enough for it. But the hatred, vengeance, you have to let it go.
Finish it.
Yes, sister.
You actually gonna do it? Jesus. Thank you, Valor. What an appropriate name. Let's do it. So, you might be sitting asking yourself, why did I just spend 45 minutes doing this if I disliked so many things about the fight, and it's pretty simple. It's because I think the game deserves better than how I left it in the previous episode. Because no matter how you
There.
slice it,
I'm sorry it came to that.
I enjoyed this game. I got a lot of joy out of playing it. It's one of those games I hadn't played
How's
before,
it feel
and
being Queen of the Valkyrie once more?
a hang up, I suppose you can call it. Just something I'd never got around to play.
The
But
shield made
I think it's on most gamers' canon list of games.
Hey, Hat?
And like I said, I did enjoy it, so I think it deserved a proper ending. And leaving it in the last episode definitely wasn't it. Yes, I lowered the difficulty in the end, by the way, in case I'm not even going to deny that I did. Because I did want to finish the fight, I just didn't want to keep slamming my head against the wall. I definitely would have done it eventually, maybe after a couple more hours, who knows. It could have been the next fight for all we know. Doesn't really matter. I think the game deserved better than me just leaving it the way I did last time. And I think you as an audience deserve better than the way I left it last time. Because I just don't think it was an accurate impression of my experience with the game in general. Even if, as I kept pointing out throughout the fight, that there are frustrating things about it. And sure, you can say that stuff doesn't really matter, or it shouldn't really matter. But the fact is that the harder you make something, the more apparent small flaws and apparent unfairnesses become. For example, it's not an issue if you're fighting just regular goons on your level that you have to pick up healing crystal. But when you're in a fight for your life and she's gonna be able to move the entire length of the arena in maybe a second and a half, you don't have time to really look around and pick up healing crystals. If you also want to avoid her attack, sure, you've got directional arrows, but it doesn't really matter if she has 10 different attacks. It could be, all of which require different reactions and different reaction times. So in the end, I like the idea of the fight, but I think it needed some polish. Don't get me wrong, I think this fight is supposed to be difficult, and I definitely don't think that on any difficulty the intent for you to figure it out and defeat it on your first try. That's obviously not the kind of fight it's designed to be. But there are small little things that become frustrating, small little details of, I think, that are design flaws in the context of the fight. Like I said, picking up healing crystals. And yeah, like I said, I think as difficulty increases, I'm gonna start nitpicking more things, little things I don't like about a fight, things that I dislike about a fight, because oftentimes it's those little things that might make the difference. I think my 5th try or so, I got her to what, 10% health or something. And if it wasn't for that spam grab attack that just pulls you in for a quarter of your health at this difficulty, I'm sure it's much worse on higher difficulties. I probably would have beat it on that attempt too. And I think the more a fight relies on certain attacks against the player, the worse it is. And that's one of the reasons that in something like Elden Ring, as much as people say it's the hardest boss in Millennia, it is, but it's a very gimmicky boss. And the reason why is very simple. If you figure out how to effectively avoid waterfowl dance, you are gonna... The difficulty of the fight is reduced to maybe a 5th. Because of waterfowl dance combined with one other ability, which is synergetic with waterfowl dance, which is the fact that she regenerates health when she hits you. So not only are you gonna get obliterated by waterfowl dance if you can't avoid it, but she's also gonna regain maybe 25% of her health easily, which is, what would that be, maybe 7,000-8,000 hit points, which is a lot. But at the end of the day, I've really enjoyed my time with this game. I love the style of it. I've enjoyed the gameplay. Especially since I got the spear. Man, the spear is just my type of weapon. So I just did not want to leave it on the note that I did the previous episode. I think the game deserved a proper ending, a proper finishing, because like I said, the way I ended it last time just wasn't representative of my experience with it. And so leaving on that note, I think would be unfair and disloyal to the joy that the game has brought, even if I was somewhat frustrated with this fight. And don't get me wrong, I point out this and that other little thing, not to nitpick and not to say that I don't share a good part of the blame for not finishing the fight better. For example, I think the biggest area of improvement for my performance in that fight would obviously be using the shield more. I pretty much only use the shield as a counter whenever you have that blue circle show up, where you can use the shield as a reaction. Other than that, I didn't use it a ton of times when I should be using it, which would have probably made a big difference in my performance. But the reason why I am quote-unquote nitpicking is because I think the game is good. I think the game design is good. I think the gameplay is good. But there are minor little things in terms of gameplay you might not necessarily think about, and like I said, that you won't even think about in context of normal game combat, even some of the harder bosses, but only really in a boss fight like this. In a boss fight like this is when I start asking myself, why do you have to pick up healing crystals instead of picking them up automatically when you run over them? And one explanation could be, sure, you want to pick them up at a strategic point in time. I can kind of get that, but first off, you will for the most part be able to pick them up later because you won't be within range to pick them up initially anyway. Secondly, they don't heal you that much, so the probability is that you already lost the amount of health it's going to heal you anyway, so it's not like it's going to overheal and that healing is wasted. Because I think having to figure out where are the healing crystals and get to them and whatever is more than enough time for her to execute one of 10 different attacks that'll move her across the map, which requires a different reaction depending on which attack it is, which, like I said, the indication arrows won't tell you which attack that's going to be. It's just going to tell you if it's avoidable or unavoidable, but whether it's the flying up into the air and grabbing you strike, or just the sort of wing pierce strike she does where she stretches out the ring and try to stab you with it, or whatever it may be. These require different reactions. So when I nitpick, it's because the nitpicky things, the little details I mentioned for polishing, they're not really design flaws. I don't think that's entirely fair to say. I think it would be more fair to say that it's polish. It's just the last bit needed to reduce friction between player and gameplay, which would take, in my opinion, this fight in particular probably from a C to an A, maybe even a B to an A, because like I said, there are a lot of things I'm not doing during the fight that I should be doing, like the shield. That's just the biggest example. There are a lot of other small examples I could nitpick about myself, but I don't really need to give myself feedback. I know the things I did wrong during that fight and that I kept doing wrong, okay? I'm just saying that this is what would make the most frictionless experience for me as a player when I play this. That would take something like that from a B to an A. Just the final polished to get across that finish line, because I genuinely think this is a good game. This is, I think the game as a whole is easily a B+. I think combat is really good, and as much as I like the axe and the chaos blades in the previous game, this spear is such a great addition to gameplay.
You'd have brought a pail of water.
Anyway, this is probably going to be the last episode of God of War Ragnarok. I'm thinking for me it's probably, like I said, with the B to A, it's probably a 9 out of 10-ish for me. I think the story was really great. I think the way the crossover mythology is super interesting. I think the way they implement mythology is super interesting, and I think the way they've sort of twisted the traditional narrative of mythology is also very interesting. Especially, well, maybe that's just because I'm a nerd and I know a lot of stuff about it already, and so it's interesting to meet characters you already know, but in sort of a very different context than this game, like Fenrir. That's a very different story from the original mythology. But anyway, if you enjoyed this game, my gameplay, not necessarily as much as I did, but if you enjoyed it at all, like, subscribe, whatever else YouTube usually wants you to do. And as always, take care.